Morning, everyone. I'm going to pull my screen up and get started. There we go. I apologize for that. So I will go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Rocky Lucas. I am a counselor in the College of Veterinary Medicine. And so what I'm going to be presenting on today is emotional wellness, kind of one of the topics that's right in my wheelhouse as a counselor. You'll see it says week 5 on here. The reason for that is this was actually part of a series that we did. In this series, we went over the 9 dimensions of wellness with our students, faculty, and staff. All were welcome. And so if you find yourself just saying, wow, I really like this stuff, like I want to know about all the different 9 dimensions of wellness, I will put our website in the chat near the end of this, and you can go and we have recordings of all of those webinars up. All right, so before I get started on emotional wellness specifically, I will review with you the 9 dimensions of wellness, which we really believe in and strive for in VetMed and really in emotional health overall. First, there is physical wellness, which consists of adequate sleep, a well-balanced diet, regular exercise, regular medical checkups, and safe sexual health practices. Spiritual wellness, which I think I've presented on that one before a few weeks ago, explores the human purpose via self-reflection, connection with others, and possibly connection to the greater universe or a higher power. Intellectual wellness, which values lifelong learning, critical thinking, moral development, an open-minded worldview, and consistently seeking knowledge. Emotional wellness, which I'll be presenting on today, which the point I'm really going to want to drive home is that it means more than just being happy. That's a great end goal, but emotionally well doesn't necessarily mean being happy all the time. Environmental wellness, recognizing the connection between nature, mankind, and the individual, and seeking to preserve and protect. Financial wellness, managing your financial state, including budgeting, savings, and working towards realistic life goals. Occupational wellness, seeking a career which will provide personal enrichment and satisfaction, maintaining alignment with goals, values, and passions. Creative wellness, I believe that was another one I may have presented on a few weeks ago here. Seeking to understand the world around you via pursuits related to art, culture, and the diversity of experience. And then social wellness, which is having a network of support based on trust, respect, reciprocity, and empathy for the feelings of others. So once again, emotional wellness is, if I was to pick the one out of the 9, which can possibly impact the rest the most, it is this one. So emotional wellness, while it is just one component of your overall holistic health, it is a very important one. But it does mean more than just happy. It means being able to tolerate and live with whatever your emotions are at any given time. These last few months have been really rough on all of us worldwide. And so if you find yourself not at your happiest, not at your most relaxed, well, that's perfectly understandable. And so if you're aiming to be at your very best right now, that really wouldn't be the best goal. Sometimes just being able to recognize how you feel, live with it, and develop the skills to be resilient with it can improve your chances of utilizing your emotional wellness to be happy. So some of the questions you can ask yourself to try to determine, hey, am I an emotionally well person? Are you able to accurately identify the emotions that you are feeling? And so that is a necessary first step. Sometimes you may be someone who has a cascade of really intense emotions all the time, and they don't make sense to you, and you don't know exactly, am I mad, am I sad? And so while that is a normal part of the human experience, as you move closer towards emotional wellness, you develop a better habit of, okay, this is what I'm feeling. And if you know what you're feeling, perhaps you can learn why you're feeling it and take steps to remedy that or to modify that feeling. Do you have a support system with whom you can express those feelings? So once again, I have a lot of people tell me where I'm kind of a loner. I like to spend a lot of time by myself. That's fine, but when you are experiencing really intense negative emotions, almost across the board, it's a bad habit to just go live with it yourself and I'm gonna go be by myself with all this sadness and chaos and I'll come out of it better. Probably not. If you have someone that you can at least just say, hey, this is what I'm feeling, will you hear me, will you validate me, then that alone can be really helpful. Have you cultivated the necessary coping and regulation skills to be able to manage your more intense emotions? And so this is probably the really pointed question to ask yourself. I've talked to a lot of clients, and I've just, worked with a lot of folks over the years who, they really feel like the intense emotions they're experiencing are something no one else is experiencing, or they're particularly unique. And it always surprises them to realize, okay, across the board, human beings experience these emotions. Some people just have really good regulation skills. They're really good at coping with those and not letting themselves get overwhelmed by those. And that is the key to kind of moving your default from a place of chaos to a place of more peacefulness. And so if you don't have those coping skills or those regulation skills, you can start to work on those. You can reach out to either friends, family, professionals who can help you build those skills. Are you able to express gratitude, even in times of turmoil? And so on one hand, you never want to be trite. You never want to tell someone who's in kind of, a dark place, oh, think about the positives. That can kind of get you frustrated to hear that. But there is a grain of truth to the fact that if you can find whatever's good in any given situation, it is going to build your emotional resiliency, and it's going to build your emotional wellness over time. So for me, yeah, I don't necessarily like working from home. It was very frustrating, especially at the beginning, but I now can do telehealth. I now, can do Zoom meetings where like a few months ago, I couldn't do that at all. So I'm grateful for these experiences and these learning opportunities that have come, even in the negative situation. How do you respond to mistakes or setbacks? Do you maintain your resilience? And so to say yes to this question, in a sense, you have to have been able to say yes to a lot of these other questions. They kind of go together, but that kind of really drives at the heart of what emotional wellness means and where we want it to take you. And that's to a place of being able to say, okay, a bunch of crap happened to me again today. I really didn't respond well again emotionally today, but this is a learning experience. What can I still be grateful for? And how can I do it better next time? And so people who are successful, people who reach that place of emotional stability more consistently, respond well to those mistakes and setbacks. They kind of say to themselves, okay, when and if this happens, I'll respond to it in this way, so they're prepared for it. And are you willing to reach out for help if any of the above answers are no? And so if you're going through those questions and you can't say yes to them, or if you're going through some of those questions and you're like, wow, that's just a big old blatant no for me, just think about ways that you can reach out. Just make it kind of a goal in your life that, hey, I'd like to be able to at least say maybe to all of these. And if you can work to that place, you'll feel a lot more confident and competent in your ability to manage those intense emotions when they come your way. So now that I've kind of explained to you what emotional wellness is and some of the questions you can ask yourself to test it, here are some components of improving emotional wellness. And a lot of these things are stuff that you should be doing anyway, and they'll probably improve a lot of different various aspects of your life, but I'll kind of just try to focus them on how they can improve your emotional wellness specifically. One, it's creating that positive mindset. Once again, not to be trite, not to say, just think positively, everything will be great, but really being intentional about, okay, what is good in my life? What do I still have going for me despite this setback? And so a lot of people utilize a gratitude journal, do positive affirmations. I know a lot of us remember that SNL skit from the 90s, but if you do it seriously, it works. Really practicing good self-care and exploring your values and your beliefs. You want to reduce your stress, and so that can occur through mindfulness exercises, physical exercise, engaging in a creative pursuit, and limiting or avoiding your use of drugs or alcohol. And so on that last one, I take that from a neutral, non-judgmental place. Lots of people like to use substances for various reasons, both good and bad, but you don't want to be using that right now to reduce your stress, because that'll take you in a bad place. You want to get quality sleep. Once again, getting quality sleep is probably one of the top things you can do for all aspects of your health, but specifically in regards to your emotional wellness, reducing your news consumption can help with that. Practicing good sleep hygiene, and maybe reduce time around like, people that are really in catastrophe mind a lot. I usually stay in a really positive mindset, but I have some peers in my life who, the world's consistently falling down around them, especially right now. And I have to limit my time with them so my brain doesn't go in that same direction. Make sure that you are coping with loss and addressing your losses ongoing. You want to practice self-care, reach out to others, and acknowledge and grieve your losses. We have all lost during this time, this pandemic and the racial injustice stuff that's been going on these last few weeks and months. We've all been hit, emotionally and sometimes financially, sometimes in regards to our relationships and our health. Acknowledge that as you go. Don't wait until some point in the future where, okay, now I can take time to think about that. No, acknowledge it as you go. Allow yourself to grieve so that each new day really is a new day for you. Work on strengthening your social connections, keeping in mind that that's more difficult than ever right now, but focus on building a positive support system with other emotionally healthy people. Just to give you an example, I had a couple of students that I've talked to recently who were really struggling with, I'm used to hanging out with like 10 to 15 different peers on a day-to-day basis, and now I'm not. And so they started to get together Zoom groups, like little silly Zoom groups to play games every day. And so it's not the same, but it's something that's keeping them connected. And it's kind of the words that one of them used to me yesterday was, it's sustaining us during this time. And that's really what we want. We want them to be sustained. And the last one is practicing mindfulness. That one goes back to the reducing stress. You can do this through utilizing breathing exercises, walking, mindful eating, or any kind of mindfulness, or that's supposed to be meditation, sorry, typo, I just missed there. Meditation practice, not medication practice. And so those are just some of the various habits that you can utilize alongside asking yourself those questions to improve the components of your emotional wellness. And so what I'm going to do now, since I promised I would do it before, I'm going to put in that is the link to our Counseling and Wellness website, the webinars. So if you found this enjoyable or beneficial in any way, please absolutely go to our website, and we have all 9 of the wellness series there ready to go, and some of our other ones that we've done as well. So I thank you guys very much for taking the time to hang out with me today, and make sure you pop in tomorrow for another awesome presentation from Laura Hamilton.